Alrighty. Hey, and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Lauren, filmmaker extraordinaire, and today is my monthly live stream. And obviously, it's the live stream of October because I can't really recap November yet since it's been one day. Though my one day has been pretty calm. I got to work from home. So, although I did have to do some rapid fire deliveries, but at least I got to stay cozy in my sweater. Though honestly, I could wear this to work. It wouldn't be the end of the world, especially on a Friday. But anywho, that's November, and we're talking about October. I will kind of say, just as like a preface, I suppose, I feel like this month was felt like a really good month for me. And part of that was probably because took a week, not quite a week, well, yeah, not quite a week, and of October. I was at home in New Jersey, where I got to work remote and then have my cousin's wedding, which I will, get more into the itinerary. But that definitely helped just kind of like set the scene for like a happy month. Also, this is a very chic look. I just have like a braid, but it's getting a little mussed up. But I don't know, I kind of was keeping it for today. I thought it was funny. But yeah, so it is not supposed to look like this, but like it is supposed to look like that for the purpose of this live stream. And I don't know, I was just feeling like really good about stuff going into October. And I feel like my social life was good. I made progress on like personal projects. Like it's just like feel like a good month. And, I had some doctor's appointments. Like it just felt like things were really kind of getting on track. And I know I haven't done like a check-in of like my goals journal for a bit. So I thought I would just start with that because I'm not like embarrassed, I suppose, of like my goal progress. Um now, okay, I just said I'm not embarrassed. So my number one goal was to work on my like for the year. These are so if you don't know, this is for the Human Being Journal, not sponsored, but you basically like check in every month for it. And there's definitely been some months this year. It's been like overall like a really up and down year for me as I'm sure so there was some heartbreak and stuff going on in there. So there was definitely a time where I was not really getting any of my goals. Like I feel like I was making no progress on anything, which is really disheartening. And like, it was just like, it felt like embarrassing to share that I'd again made like no progress on anything. So that being said, I did make no progress on this first goal because that's the goal to do my like limited series. I'll write that. And I didn't make any progress on that. But I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with that because the second goal, so my first two goals were both like filmmaking related, was to work on my animated project, Colors of the Soul, which a round of applause, I'll do it, is like actually happening. And I made like so much progress this past month in that. Got my animator, the storyboards, the rough ones are done, the like kind of just like a couple polished that are in the works. I have made contact with a hopeful composer. I started my like pre-launch page for like some fundraising to try to do for the movie. And I'm just like kind of over the moon about it, honestly. I just can't believe it's actually happening. Like, honestly, it's been like really getting me going, like through part of the month as well. Like, personally was good and stuff, but like, just this, like, I feel like so inspired to create again, and like I'm so motivated to actually get it made and get it done and out there, and hopefully like to make a big difference to the world, or even a little difference to the world, any difference to the world. So yeah, I'm feeling like really excited about that. So it was very nice also just to like not have no progress on a goal, especially like one of the one of my creative goals. So yeah, so I made progress there. And then my goal number 3 is about like getting a better physical fitness. And I'm definitely actually making progress here. I wouldn't say I'm like about to hike the Hollywood sign because that was like my low-key goal for it was to do the Hollywood sign hike again. We'll see about that. But I am definitely like getting more shape because I'm going to New Zealand in January and girlie's got to be in shape for that, right? And if something's going to motivate me, it is Lord of the Rings stuff. As you can see, I have the little I am going to be in shape for Lord of the Rings things. So I've been like walking more. I'm not sure if I said before, but my twin sister made me a logarithmic training plan to like increase my steps every week and like cardio. So I'm trying to work on that. And I'm making progress. Yay. So Bible in a year. slow progress. But I actually did start up again, so I'm counting that as a win. Also, if anyone has any questions, I can see some lurkers. You can ask in the chat and I will try to answer. Or you can always ask a question later in the comments and I will answer them too. As far as my more nutritious eating goes, this sort of goes with like the trying to be in better physical shape. I do need to work on the vegetables. I'm really good at like fruit, really good at carbs. I'm working really hard on the I think I did not girl boss too close to the sun for protein intake. Like I'm sure I could do more, but I've been really focusing on the protein. I feel like I have dropped the ball a little bit with like the vegetables, but we're working on it. We're working on it. My secret goal you don't get to hear about. I did not do great with reading this month. I don't think I read a new book this month, but again, it's okay. I read a bit of Pride and Prejudice on my phone, like because I was traveling and stuff. So I have my phone, but that's not a new book. So it does not count as a goal. I'm still meditating. So that's good. I'm doing a reasonable job of contacting my older relatives and my financial goal for the year is still completed. So overall, I think was actually a good month for making progress on like my aspirational goals. And I do also want to say, if you're watching this and feeling like, maybe you watch a lot of TikToks or whatever, and you see like that girl and like the winter arc, 75 Hall, whatever. Like you're seeing a lot of people accomplishing everything. This is evidence. I mean, I'm just a random person, right? But this is evidence people do not always accomplish everything. And it's okay, even though it can be upsetting at times. I mean, I literally started this video by talking about I was so embarrassed that I wasn't making any progress that I wasn't sharing. And that's okay too. Like there's ups and downs in life. But most people are not like constantly accomplishing all of their goals in the initial time manner they set out for them. Like the great thing about a lot of goals is like if you need a little bit more time, you can take more time and it's not the end of the world. Now for like the New Zealand, for instance, like I need to be in shape for that because it's a strict time, right? Like we're going on the trip in January. But to read the full Bible, yeah, the goal is Bible in a year. It can be 3 years. Who cares, right? Like it's flexible. But enough about my goals. Here's the real stuff you came for, my actual monthly vibes. Or maybe you didn't come for that, but you're here now. So I'm sorry you're stuck. Well, you're not really. You could swipe off anytime. So obviously, this was October. And if we rewind to the end of my live stream from the September recap, you will remember that I was in New Jersey. Well, actually, I wasn't at the end of September. I was actually in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But if we pretend the East Coast. So I woke up in October, actually in good old P of A, Pennsylvania. And yeah, I didn't really do much there, though at that point I just like was taken to the big 30th Street station by my friend. And then I took a train where I took Amtrak actually for the first time, which may not sound like something that exciting, but I was actually kind of stoked because I feel like I see a lot of trains growing up and like Amtrak, but I never took one. And I finally took an Amtrak. And it was kind of like a bougie experience. I mean, I still paid like economy or whatever that version is. Maybe it is economy. It was still exciting. Okay. And also, wait, let me put my phone on do not disturb so we don't get disturbed. I got buffalo chicken pizza, which the real ones know I love my buffalo chicken pizza, and they do not really have that out here, or at least they don't have like the kind of buffalo chicken pizza that I have at the Trattoria in my hometown. So I was beyond happy to get some of that. And also spending more time with the puppy. And I feel like I've showed this picture before, but it's just so funny. I'm obsessed. Basically, I just turned my camera around. So it was like this, instead of like that. It's not important, but I just love anytime I talk about Cal, I will. And went on some hikes with him and the family. I was working remotely, but because of the time zone difference, I had kind of like the morning sort of like free, and then I had to work like later into the day or into the evening, but it was honestly fine, like no problem at all. And then on Thursday, my mom, my sister, my friend and I went apple picking. I haven't gone apple picking in so long because it's not like they don't have apple trees like in California, but it's not like they don't have orchards like in LA, right? Like the orchards are sort of around here would be citrus, Orange County, all that good stuff. And I'm sorry, but it is nothing screams fall like oranges. Am I right? So I was so excited to go apple picking, and I don't know, there's just something so like beautiful about it, and it smelled really nice out there, and it was like a nice day. I mean, it was a little like slightly cloudy, like overcast, but it wasn't like raining or anything, and it wasn't like freezing. So I thought of it as a win. And I mean, she's gorgeous. Just like I love me an apple. Honestly, I do. Though at work, like for a time, they were bringing green apples because I made a request, but I think I was like the only one eating them, so there really aren't any green apples anymore. And I think might ask again to bring back the green apples, but again, I can always provide for my own green apples. It's just sad when they have like just red apples because representation. And then it was already Friday because that's how weeks go. And my family was driving up to Lake George in upstate New York for my cousin's wedding. Her wedding was on Saturday, but we drove up on Friday because my older sister was at the bridal party and she had she had to be for the rehearsal dinner and stuff. And just to make like the whole weekend like less stressful, the actual like wedding day. So we drove up and I've only ever been to Lake George in the summer and I've only ever stayed on an island. So it was really interesting to go in the fall and also not stay like on an island with no running water or electricity or anything. Like we stayed in these cute little like townhouses actually on the property like where my cousin got married, and we had a really nice view of the lake. Like we had like a balcony and there was the lake, and like weirdly enough, well, not weirdly enough, I'm assuming the couple who got married like the night before, they did like fireworks off the in the lake. My cousin didn't do that, but they did fireworks. So my sister and I got like a fireworks show. We're just like, wow, look at that, very exciting stuff. Honestly, I'm like a sucker for like a simple pleasure like that. I really am. And it was just so pretty. Like this was the view from our townhouse hotel thing. Just lovely. And glorious weather, honestly. I was a little worried that the weather was not going to be great, but it was really, really nice. So thanks to that. And yeah, here's some really bad video of fireworks from my phone. But the point is, they were like really close. Like we could hear them. It was loud. And maybe wonder like, oh, should I get my ear protection? But I didn't want to run and get my earplugs, because then what if by the time I got back to the balcony, the fireworks were over, and then I would like miss the fireworks show. And I don't see fireworks very often. I saw them over the 4th of July, but like I don't really see them otherwise because I'm in LA. I do hear them sometimes, like randomly, and I'm always like, is there a holiday? Like why are there fireworks right now? Like, am I missing something? But I don't usually see them. So I was excited. And also seeing fireworks over the lake and like the reflection. I know it didn't really come across great, obviously, in like my phone video, but it's really beautiful. And especially just, I don't know, it made me feel like a small part of a big world, but not like in a way where you feel like so small, you're like insignificant, more like you're a part of something really big. So it was exciting. And then the next day was actually the wedding day. But of course, the wedding was like later in the day. So my family and I went on the Mohegan, which is, do I have like a good picture of the boat from afar? Okay, I have this sad video of a truck, but basically it is a steamboat. And growing up, going to the island in the summer, we would see like the big steamboats, like the Mohegan, the Minnehaha, like boating by. I guess boat cruising, but I don't know, going along the lake. And it's always cool to see them, but I've never been on it before because we never did that as part of like our camping experience. So that was rather thrilling. And I like scurried right up to the top deck, saved seats for the family so that we could have like a seat. We didn't sit the whole time, but because of like safety, you could only be up there if there like was a seat for you. So really happy that we got seats for that. And we really lucked out because we didn't reserve tickets like in advance for it. We just like, oh, we'll show up for the earlier boat ride and buy tickets. And it's really good that happened. And we like made it for that early time because we found out later from like some of the other people at the wedding that they wanted to go on like the Mohegan, but that they were sold out. So like that was lucky. And then we were also going to go to like a fort. There was like a reconstructed fort near it, but the tickets we thought were too expensive. So instead of going to the fort after the boat ride, we went to the summit. That can't be what it was called. Well, we went to the summit of a mountain, but what was the mountain called? Okay, well, my brain is not working, but we went up high. And now I'm really upset. What was the mountain called? Okay, well, If anyone ever is watching later and they're like, "Oh, that was the mountain," let me know because it was really fun. You can also, like, hike, up, but we were wearing, like, not, like, nice clothes, but, like, not hiking gear, and we also didn't wanna get, like, totally dead and sweaty since we had to, like, party, the night away at the wedding. So we did this thing where you, like, drove most of the way up and then, like, to, like, you parked, like, this veterans parking lot memorial, and then you could hike up from there. Now, obviously, if you were, like, um, handicap parking, or if you actually are a veteran, you could actually park at the way top, but that there wasn't a lot of parking up there. So we didn't park there, but it was fine because we were able to walk up and it was very nice view. I have seen views of like the lake before from when my family goes hiking, but never on like that part of the lake. So it was cool and it was nice. Like it's hard to see, but like it's hard to see in the phone photo, but like there is some like changing colors out there. And that's always nice because, like, it's fall and the colors don't change that much. I feel like in LA, like, they're green and then they're, like, dead. There's not so much as, like, the yellows and oranges and reds and everything that make me feel like, "Oh, it's fall." So, it was exciting, and then the whole family, then got ready for the wedding. I think we all looked fabulous. I mean, really were color coordinated, I gotta say, especially considering that, like, my dress and Nicole, my twin's dress, like, her dress was a dress she'd worn for a different wedding, and I got my dress kind of like not like on a whim, but I was like, "Oh, this is pretty," versus my oldest sister's dress, like, she was in the bridal party, so sort of picked. So the Arthur dresses kind of worked together and, like, kind of by chance, and then my mom actually sort of picked her dress, though, knowing what our dresses were, and she really found one that, like, just tied the whole thing together, and then my dad's just, like, wearing a suit, so he kind of didn't have to deal too much with it. But we looked really good, and the wedding was lovely. My cousin looked radiant. Her now husband, yeah, he looked nice. I don't know. I was more like, oh my god, my cousin, she looks so good. She's so happy, and it was really fun. It was a little cold, definitely. Like as the sun went down, like the cocktail hour was supposed to be outside, but like I was too cold to do that, so I like ate my little cocktail food inside. But other than that, it was good, and my feet were really fine in the heels up until like the last 45 minutes, hour maybe, when all of a sudden, oh, here comes the yawn. So basically the last bit when like my problem was I went to get some water and I sat down. And as soon as I stood back up, my feet hurt. And I was like, rats. I should have like avoided the water, but hydrating is important. So it was just like as soon as I sat down, like my feet were like, aha, she's done. But I wasn't. And that was a little sad. But I pushed through, made it work out just fine, and even did s'mores, which I thought was like a really adorable thing to do because, when well, you don't know, but when we go camping, we make s'mores. And that was kind of their little after party moment with making s'mores, which was cute. Again, it was kind of cold, but there was a fire at that point, and some people did change and put on a jacket or something, so that we all didn't freeze to death. But it was really nice, and they buy the s'mores. Here's me. Here's me and my s'more. I was very happy, obviously, because who wouldn't be happy? And then the next day was like a little brunch, and then we all left. And then I actually flew back to LA. There was a little bit of drama where like my plane, for some reason, they canceled the flight or they removed my ticket or something, but they hadn't, but I still had like credit somewhere. Somehow I ended up on the same flight I was supposed to be on, but like in a different seat. It was a little confusing, but I was just so happy to be like heading back. Not that I was happy to leave like my family and stuff, but I hadn't planned to be out longer than I really was. I didn't have like that much extra medications and just I had doctor's appointments that week. Like I had stuff that I like had planned in advance. So I was happy to have that sorted. I do, I have anxiety. So spontaneous things like that, I'm not always great at. I feel like I was actually like I wasn't freaking out. Like I was annoyed, but I wasn't like upset. But I was happy when it was like sorted. But I also was definitely just in such a good mood, I think, from the whole wedding and everything and seeing everybody that I probably would have been more stressed, except that I was like, "Woo, like, we're having a great time. The family's here. Everyone's really happy." So I didn't have the same, like, mental bandwidth as usual to be like, "Panic!" Which is really good. Like, I wish I could have that kind of internal happiness all the time, but I understand then that, like, I wouldn't be so happy in those special occasions. So I suppose it's a fine line of feeling a kind of contentment like in my life overall. And then I didn't do a ton that week other than my doctor's appointments, except we had like a bowling event for one of the ERGs. Well, actually, for all of them. ERG stands for Employee Resource Group, and I'm a programming lead for a couple of them at the office. So we had like a bowling event for all of the different groups to come together. And I am not great at bowling. I do like bowling, I think it's fun, but I'm really not that good. But I did get a bowling lesson. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's literally only 8 o'clock. I should not yawn. And I have this like light on my face and I'm still yawning. But I got a bowling lesson and then I immediately got a strike afterwards. And there were still maybe like 30-ish minutes left in the event. But I was like, I'm done now. Like I'm not bowling anymore. I got a strike, calling it quits now. And you might be like, but Lauren, how? And it's because it was at this vintage bowling alley. So there weren't actually like scores digitally. You could track your scores on like these paper cards they had, or you could just kind of like bowl, the 2 rounds in the like your lane. And then you could either like keep going or someone else could go. So super chill, which I think was great because that way people could do a bit of bowling. They could chat, they could chill, they could bowl. Like there was no pressure to like just do the whole game. So that was like I think a pretty successful event. I was very proud of myself there. I did some stuff at the animal shelter. Of course, I am dedicated to the animal shelter, obviously as a volunteer. And it's really nice to get animal time. Obviously, I did get some more animal time because I saw like my family dog. But it just makes me feel really happy to try to give back to the community in some way because I just like to be part of something. And I think it goes back to what I said about like small part of big world. Like we're all making a difference. And I feel like animals, it's just nice. I just love animals. So it's nice to help them out in any way that I can. And I also got to go to my first ever prop house through the YEP HPA program that I'm in. They did like kind of a mixer dinner and then tours of the prop house. And I did make a short of it, I think somewhere on the channel. But like, for example, like look at all these, let me pause. They just have like a bunch of old phones. Like it was a kind of a prop house through history. So there are obviously prop houses that are more maybe like fantasy oriented or whatever, but this was like historical stuff. So you kind of like different time periods of things. And it was just fascinating. I mean, they had a whole music section with instruments. They had like kind of like army stuff. So they had stuff that could have been in like the French and Indian War through like the Civil War, Revolutionary War, Civil War, like all went up. And it was so cool to see everything. And they had, I mean, they had a bunch of like typewriters that were in Mad Men and just like all this stuff that I don't know, like obviously props are in movies, but it's crazy to see them all like just in one spot, like just chilling out, just like lurking. And some of it was practical, which we could actually work, and some of it was like made just to look kind of from the outside, but it wouldn't actually do anything. It was so fascinating, and it was great to hear the different specialists at the place talk about everything because, like, they're really passionate about, like, their kind of niche historian, almost like fascination, and, like, that's why they're really good at what they're doing there. So, like, the music guy really knew a lot about music, or someone who's in the sports area, she knows, like, a ton about baseball, so she could explain, like, the different uniforms and gloves from different movies where they show, like, any kind of baseball. It's like, is that historically accurate? And again, it's the thing that was like, I don't know really anything about baseball, so I wouldn't know. But there are things that I like do know about, and there's always someone who knows. And I think that's probably really true because people have like just like niche interests. So I just thought it was like really cool. And it's a part of the industry that again, I just like never really thought about how people get a job and that kind of thing, but obviously they exist. And that's just the magic of movies. And I look really kind of stupid here, but I got to hold like the original Luke Skywalker lightsaber hilt, which was, I will admit, like pretty exciting. And I love how it's like so clearly like made, just like kind of hubbly together. It's just like crazy. But yeah. And by the original, I'm not sure it's actually the original, but it's like the same vibe. And there was like a case demonstrating how they were put together. But we got to hold it. So I'm sure it wasn't the OG, but it was like kind of an exact replica from the time period. Back to the animal shelter. And I dog sat for one of my friends, which was sort of as like a staycation because like I was still in LA, but I wasn't at my apartment over the weekend. And I got lots of extra dog time with her Char dogs. So they're very cute. Also, I was literally saying earlier that I was like, "Ugh, where's the colors of fall?" But I will say I had to take a picture of these plants when I was walking the dogs because pretty beautiful. I mean, I think like although I love fall colors, I am always still going to love beautiful flowers. I tried to grow plants a couple times. It doesn't work. I actually got a succulent from my coworkers this month, and I was really excited. I put it in like my little pot. I put it on the bag, my like balcony to get some sun, and like a squirrel got in it. And I see like no squirrels like on the balcony areas. But like of course, like when I try to grow a poor little plant, like it gets destroyed by a squirrel. And I told my coworker, and she said, "Oh, I can get you a new one." I was like, "Well, what's the point though? Like, it's just gonna eat it again." She said apparently like put like pepper, like chili pepper or like cayenne pepper. Apparently, like maybe the squirrels will avoid. I don't know. But it's just sad. Like I thought about keeping it inside, but I just don't get enough natural light in my apartment for like a plant to grow. I was about to say for Lauren to grow, and I was like, I'm kind of done growing. But like I get light that I can open to like kind of chill, but a plant really needs like more light. So that's a little bit of a defeating moment. So that's why I mean I'll still appreciate a beautiful plant because I can't grow them. Maybe one day I'll have a green thumb, but not right now. And then me and some of my friends did like this drive around Burbank to see some of the like the official kind of haunts of Burbank or whatever. And I was insanely impressed. I mean, it makes sense. Like people in this town are set designers and artists, but like the level of detail in some of these people's yards blew my mind. I mean, like this person's yard was so funny. They did like a skeleton Olympics and um let me see, where's like they had like skeletons. How should I play the video? They had like skeletons cheering for like a skeleton on the balance beam and stuff. It's like this is crazy. There was a whole like Beetlejuice house with like people had lights, people had music, people had fog machines. One place even had a scare actor, and it was a Wednesday night. It was not. I was not like, and it was not like right before Halloween, right? It was not like 2 days ago. It was like a week before. So I was just floored at the detail and the artistry. It was really fun to go out and see everything. It really kind of got me like the holiday spooky spirit. Just like so impressed with people, really, honestly. Like I can't. And then I went to my like Madewell denim event where I got my new jeans and a baguette. Can't forget the baguette. That was really cool. It felt like it really like kind of reignited. I mean, it didn't reignite. It like continued like I feel like there was already a little ignition, but it just kind of like really spurred on my desire to really work on my like sense of style and self with clothes, but not in a way that like, oh, you have to go buy a bunch of new clothes. Like I did buy jeans, but it's because my old dark wash jeans had ripped. But it's more just like I want to continue on this journey, and it just like made me extra excited to do it. And I did see the results of the poll, at least unless they changed since I last checked. And the series did win by at least I think 2 votes. So I will be doing like a series about like approaching my sense of self, fashion, and everything. So that's definitely going to be something like end of this year, and then hopefully into next year I'll kind of finish that kind of series up. I do have to do another cinematic, oh my God, conversations video. I'm honestly not sure what I want the cinematic conversations video to be about. I feel like there's lots of different movie things going on, but like nothing that I'm like, do I really want to talk about this like a kind of an episode? So if there's something like film, TV related that you would love to hear about, please let me know because I could use some inspo there. Otherwise, I might just like talk about something kind of not topical, but like interesting to me. But I feel like it's nice to try to talk about things that are maybe a little more like on brand that people are talking about. I don't know. The other episodes I did were more kind of like I felt like foundational series, like politics of media. Well, I think politics is topical, but also like misinformation. And I'm not sure, do I want to keep doing kind of more not like theory stuff, but almost theory or like do a hardcore example. So I would love some feedback there on what you would like to hear about because I love talking about movies and I like talking about my interests, but I also want to make something that I think people will be interested in because I do take time to do those, like extra time than usual. And I want someone to watch it ideally. I do not make videos on the internet for nobody to watch, which I think is fair to say. And then I guess that's kind of it. Went out to dinner with my friends and then it was Halloween and I was a cowgirl. And this is me and my horse. I know that's like a chess piece, but for me, it was a horse, okay? Because I don't have a real horse. I can't afford a real horse. And that was the best I got, okay? I could probably find like a stuffed animal that would have been like tiny, but I thought it was way funnier to pose by the chess piece. And it was just like a good month. I feel like overall I was like happy this month. Now maybe one of my friends will text me after watching and be like, girl, you had a sobbing fest. I don't remember that right now. Okay. Maybe I blocked it out. But I feel like it's been like a pretty good month. I feel like my OCD stuff went really well this month and I'm making real progress there. I do oh, I just said that. I do think I was actually a bit more depressed earlier in the month, actually, come to think of it, because my therapist was like, "Oh, yeah, with your OCD doing better, your brain has more space for, like, other things, like my depression and anxiety, apparently." But I have also since increased a dose of my SNRI, plus I think also with my film stuff kind of, like, suddenly taking off, I think it's all kind of like, "Woo," overshooting, cow jumping over the moon here with how happy I just feel about um, like my personal projects, like my mental state might be hit or miss, right? I'm on an increased medication, but like my personal projects, I feel like are really something really happening. And I think I just feel like an artist again. And I feel like it's been maybe a while since I've really felt like an artist. And like, I feel like that's kind of something I kind of identified with. So I think it's just feeling like really resonant with me that I'm like making a short film again. So yeah, I'm just really excited and I'm excited to like kind of keep you guys posted on how the project's going and things like that. Yeah, again, I guess that's pretty much it. I have been talking for like 30 minutes. I have again noticed people lurking. You are absolutely always free to ask a question in the chat as long as it's respectful or comment anything. But again, even if you're not saying anything, I so much appreciate you guys watching, sitting with me, listening to me ramble about, my life and everything because it's nice for me to have like a space to do that. But I do want to get to know you guys as well and know what kind of content you want to see from me in the future. I hope you guys have a really nice like start of November and that you had a good spooky season. And I will see you guys really soon with a short. And I will see you next month with a live and hopefully some regular videos sprinkled in between. And with that, I will sign off. And yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye. Bye. Do 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 do.